Hi friends, in this lecture we studying about pozzolanic materials that are also called supplementary cementitious materials which are added as a cement replacement in a concrete manufacturing. The pozzolanic materials are siliceous and aluminous materials possessing little or no cementitious value by themselves but in finely divided form and in the presence of moisture react chemically with calcium hydroxide, that is CaOH, liberated on hydration of cement at ordinary temperature to form compounds possessing cementitious properties. Pozzolanic materials are siliceous and aluminous materials. The siliceous or aluminous compounds in a finely divided form react with calcium hydroxide to form highly stable cementitious substances of complex composition involving calcium, silica, and water. Generally, amorphous silicate react with much more rapidly than the crystalline form. The calcium hydroxide, a water soluble material, is converted into insoluble cementitious material by the reaction of pozzolanic materials. Initially, the pozzolanic reaction is slow and thus the production of heat of hydration and development of strength is also slow. The reaction involves the consumption of calcium dioxide, that is CaOH2, and thus there is no production of CaOH2. The reduction of CaOH2 increases the durability of cement paste by making the cement paste dense and impervious. Pozzolanic materials are silicate based materials that react with the calcium hydroxide generated by hydration reaction of cement and water to form additional cementitious materials. Why is consuming calcium hydroxide a good thing? Calcium hydroxide accounts for up to 25% of the hydrated Portland cement, and lime does not contribute to the concrete strength or durability. Pozzolana combine with the lime to produce additional calcium silicate hydrate, that is CSH gel, the material responsible for holding concrete together. By consuming the excess lime, the strength of the concrete is increased, the density of the concrete also increased, the effluence is decreased, the proportion of alkali silica reaction with glass is decreased or even virtually eliminated. Typically, pozzolana are used as cement replacement rather than cement additions. Adding pozzolana to an existing concrete mix without removing an equivalent amount of cement increase the paste content and decrease the water cement ratio. In other words, adding more pozzolana material to a mix changes the mix proportion. Replacing some of the cement with pozzolanic material preserve the mix proportions. Pozzolanic materials replaces cement in concrete Depending upon the particle size, chemical composition and doses, different pozzolans will affect the concrete strength differently and at different times during curing of concrete. In figure, the pozzolanic materials are shown from left to right, that is fly ash, metakaolin, that is calcaline clay. The clay heated at high temperature, that is metakaolin, then silica fume, then fly ash, slag, that is blast furnace slag, and calcaline clay. The typical pozzolana includes fly ash, silica fume, metakaolin, and slag. Of these, silica fume is most reactive. Also, the metakaolin is same reactive as a silica fume. The less reactive material, that is pozzolanic material, is fly ash, especially during the first few days of curing when less calcium hydroxide is generated. Generally, the finer the pozzolana particles, the more reactive they are. Silica fume is the finest with most particles averaging 0.3 microns. Metakaolin averages about 4 microns. Portland cement averages about 15 microns, and the particle size of fly ash is about 70 microns. Many pozzolanas are waste product from industrial process. Fly ash comes from coal-fired power plant, and silica fume and slag comes from some steel refineries. As such, the color, quality, gradation, and properties can vary and are not controlled. Most pozzolanas are used individually, but blends of two or more different pozzolanic material can be used to take advantage of the character of each material offers. Typical examples are fly ash and silica fume blends, where the fly ash increases workability and particle packing, and the silica fume helps with early strength and total strength development. We see now, let's see one by one. First of all, see fly ash, the byproduct obtained from coal refineries, coal factories, or coal power plant. Fly ash is heterogeneous product material produced in the combustion process of coal used in power stations. It is a fine grey colored powder having spherical glassy particles that rise with the flue gases. As fly ash contains pozzolanic material components which reach with lime to form cementous material. Thus, fly ash is used in the concrete, mines, landfills, and dam. Chemical composition of fly ash, in which the percentage of silica is 20 to 60, alumina is 5 to 35, and iron oxide is 10 to 40%, and calcium oxide is 1 to 12%. Then loss on ignition, the percentage is 0 to 15%. The physical properties of fly ash include fineness of fly ash. As per American Society of Testing, the fineness of fly ash is to be checked in both dry and wet sieving. The fly ash sample is sieved in 45 micron sieve, and the percentage of retain on the 45 micron sieve is calculated. Also, the fineness of fly ash is measured by Lee-Chatelain method and plane specific surface method. The specific gravity of fly ash ranges from 1.8 to 2.96. Then size and shape of fly ash. As the fly ash is very fine material, the particle size ranges in between 10 to 100 microns. The shape of the fly ash is usually spherical glassy shape. The color of the fly ash depends upon the chemical and mineral constitute of fly ash. Lime contents in the fly ash gives the tan and light color to the fly ash, whereas brownish color is imparted by the presence of iron content. A dark grey to black color is typically contributed to an elevated unburnt content. Classification of fly ash according to IS 3812 1981 is grade 1 and grade 2. Grade 1, this grade of fly ash is derived from bituminous coal having fractions silicon dioxide, alumina oxide and iron oxide greater than 70%. And grade 2, the percentage of silica, alumina and ferrous oxide is greater than 50%, that is grade 2. Next material is ground granulated slag, furnace slag. The ground granulated blast furnace slag, it is also known as GGBFS or simply GGBS, it is a byproduct of iron manufacturing, which when added to concrete improve its properties such as workability, strength and durability. This material is obtained by the heating of iron ore, limestone and coke at a temperature about 1500 degrees Celsius. The process is carried out in a blast furnace. The formation of GGBS is not direct. The by-product of iron manufacturing is molten slag and molten iron. The molten slag consists of alumina and silica, also with the certain amount of oxides. This slag is later granulated by cooling it. For this, it is allowed to pass through a high pressure water jet. This result in quenching of the particles, which result in granules of size lesser than 5 mm in diameter. The main constituent of blast furnace slag are calcium oxide, silica, alumina and magnesium oxide. These are the minerals that are found in most of the cementitious substances. The particles are further dried and ground in a rotating ball mill to form a fine powder known as GGBS, that is ground granulated blast furnace slag cement. Now this different methods can be employed to perform the main process called as a quenching. Based on what method is employed, it can be known as pelletized slag form or expanded slag, GGBS or air cooled blast furnace slag. The composition of GGBS, the difference in mineralogical composition, in which the lime The range of lime is between 30 to 50%, silica 28 to 40%. Then the percentage of alumina is 8 to 24%, and the percentage of magnesium or magnesium oxide is 8 to 18%. The percentage of magnesia in Portland cement is only 5%, and also the alumina is 0 to 8% in OPC. The percentage of alumina is greater than OPC. Another significant difference in GGBS is that some of the metals within it have not undergone complete oxidation. These changes will be reflected in the structural formation in concrete when compared with OPC. From the above two differences in composition compared with Portland cement would show change in the hydration reaction as well as hydration products that are given by ground blast furnace slag. Then physical properties of GGBS are: the physical form of GGBS is of white powder. The bulk density in kilogram per meter cube is 1200. The specific gravity of GGBS is 2.9, and the surface or specific surface, that is in meter square per kg, is 425 to 470 meter square per kg. The particle size distribution of GGBS. It is observed that the particle size of GGBS varies with the grinding techniques used during its manufacture process. It is also observed that the product from ball mill has wide particles and narrow particles for the one grounded in airflow mill. In the concrete manufacturing plant, the GGBS can be added along with the cement, water and aggregate. The normal ratio of the mixture remains the same. The studies show that the GGBS can be replaced from 30 to 85% of the cement weight. Most of the instances we replace 40 to 50%. The advantages of GGBS are: GGBS in concrete increase the strength and durability of the concrete structure. It reduces voids in concrete, hence reducing permeability of concrete. GGBS gives workable mix. It possesses good pumpable and compaction characteristics. The structure made by GGBS constitute help in increasing sulfate attack resistance. The penetration of chloride can be decreased due to addition of GGBS. The heat of hydration is less compared to conventional mixed hydration. The alkali silica reaction is restricted highly. This makes the concrete more chemically stable, gives good surface finish and improve aesthetic view. The color is more even and light when we add the GGBS. The lower chances of efflorescence, the maintenance and repair cost of structure are reduced, thus increasing the life cycle of concrete structure. Unlike cement, GGBS does not produce carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide or any kind of oxide, that is nitrogen oxide. Therefore, it is environment friendly. It is found that working with GGBS is easy as it has greater mobility characteristic. This is due to its fineness and the particle shape of the GGBS. This also possesses a lower relative density. The GGBS particles have a very glassy texture that makes them increase the workability of concrete. The workability is a new term we will see in future. This can help in reduction of water as well as superplasticizers to get adequate workability in common situation. Superplasticizers are the admixtures which are used in concrete as per required function or purpose. They also have fewer chances to get segregated during handling as well as pumping of the material. The uses of GGBS in concrete provide a certain unique feature that differs from the OPC concrete. The concrete made from GGBS sets slowly when compared to ordinary Portland cement mix. The sustainability factor of ground granulated blast furnace slag is proved from the above advantages. The product itself is a byproduct that is used for a greater recognition. The reduction of carbon dioxide in the structure make them more sustainable. The ground granulated blast furnace slag as a replacement has a less water demand because of their glassy texture. The glassy surface of GGBS particles does not absorb water onto its surface. GGBS is facing certain hindrances in its implementation widely due to the low rate of strength gain. It is also highly sensitive to condition of curing, so a better quality of curing process ensure the happening of full advantages of GGBS. Thank you.